gotta say, in watching it, I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting.
What weren't you expecting? The
Well, I was unfamiliar with the book.
Oh, okay.
I was unfamiliar with the story of it. I just dive in. I just go for it. I mean, I read
Yeah.
like 1950s, 19th period. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's what you guys did. 50s, I'm in. Period.
Yeah.
Like period piece, I'm in.
Period.
I would love to do that. Um, but how did you get involved, Erin?
So, Molly Asher, who is one of the producers, we had worked together on a really small film, Swallow, years ago. And she basically was the one that had first reached out to me because for her, it was going to be she was a part of Nomadland. Like she was very like indie film world, and never done something period, never done something union in LA. And so that was, as Melissa and I both, it was an interesting experience. But then Dan, who I met through her, was obviously coming, very seasoned TV director, but coming back to a feature. So yeah,
Um, where did you shoot this? Were you in Chicago? Where were you?
we were in
Well,
LA
you were in LA for the whole thing.
for the whole thing.
That's
Yeah.
Even the snow.
that's
It
awesome.
snowed, it snowed, there was torrential rains, there was anything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Oh my God. It was that long ago? No. Or you just got COVID while you were doing it.
It was like,
One of the actresses did, Daisy
yeah,
did,
Oh.
yeah.
which,
It was like just getting back to normal.
yeah,
Oh.
this was winter 2023. It was one of the reasons, well, Melissa can confirm this for me, I think, but because it was that winter 2023, and she had a great crew, but we thought we were going to lose people because it was like tier three and we were asking a lot. But then as the strike loomed, work was drying up. And
Right.
so we were at least a benefit was she got to hold on to her really great crew because there was nothing for people to go to.
Yeah.
Were you familiar with the book before you got onto this?
I was not, no. I read the script actually first and then I dove into the book and met the
And
author. But yeah.
was the vibe from the director like, we want to pay homage in this way to the book, or we're doing script where this is our world now?
I think him and the other producer, Peter Spears, who they're good friends and they've worked together over the years. Sorry, they both read the book years ago and were really interested in developing into something. And so they had worked on developing it with the screenwriter for a long time. And so I do think I would say it wasn't like we absolutely have to, match the book. They had worked a long time, I think, on kind of adapting and creating it into what they wanted. And so, we also had to take some liberties with kind of the scale of the book, even though we tried to create the scale as much as we could in LA with our tier three budget.
Mhm.
Well, you did a fantastic job, then I must say. You had a lot of houses. There's a lot of different looks in houses and everything. And the first house that we see in the films, they're living in her mother's house. So was this like they're living in the mother's house, just keep it as if the mother decorate, or like how many touches, Melissa, did you give to their life?
It was kind of like, her and her mother's home. So it was meant to feel very cozy and warm and sort of like a place that she feels comfortable in. But it was sort of like a childhood home, but a little bit her own. And so there was a lot of touches of like, the mother was there. I tried to do like a little vignette of like pictures that could have been them when they were younger and a little like corner of like this was her mom's desk and that sort of thing. So I don't remember exactly how long we were thinking she had lived there alone, Erin. It's all kind of a blur.
I know
Yeah,
it
they don't say
was a minute
like
ago.
when she
Right.
died. They don't say when she died or anything, I don't believe. But
Yeah, and there was a lot more detail in the book of kind of who her mother was, and that was obviously I do remember us kind of discussing kind of trying to pay homage to that because in the book you learn a lot about kind of her mom being this kind of I would say like early feminist in the kind of 50s,
hmm,
it was like she was the first woman to like go to the university around there or something and I think own the farm and drive a car. There was all these things that were kind of nice story notes that we were trying to kind of if I recall like plant seeds of that for Muriel within the house that kind of as we learn and see her kind of story as she progresses.
Where is this house at, or is this a build?
Disney Ranch.
Disney Ranch.
Disney Ranch. Disney Ranch. Really?
Yeah.
Where?
It's the farmhouse there.
Oh, wow. I didn't catch that at all. Great job.
Props to Erin.
Now that I'm thinking of it, yeah. But I was like, I don't know why for some reason I thought you guys were like out of town for this. So I was like, oh, they were somewhere and then they went here. And like, but then I know the racetrack, so I was like, did they come back to do the racetrack? This is baffling me. But
Yeah.
so how long of a prep did you have? Because you got a lot of wallpaper going on here. You got a lot of 50s gems in here.
We had, oh my God.
It was not long. I want to say it was a week combined. I don't remember exactly, but
Okay.
I mean, we were like
It's a
both
lot of
departments
rooms for
on top
one
of
week.
each other trying to finish as quickly as possible. Yeah.
And this one was specifically, if I recall, because it was early, it was first up originally, and
Mhm.
then this one was one of our trickier houses to pull off or sets to pull off in terms of the amount of work that we had going into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So like our department finished upstairs first, and I moved upstairs while they were finishing downstairs. I mean, it was insane that we did it in the amount of time that we did.
I think one of the things I liked best about the look of this film is that you guys got to do period, but you did different types of period. Like this is older, so this is kind of like 40s and stuff because this is older stuff. But then when you move into the other homes, you got to do like real mid-century and everything.
Mhm.
So was that exciting? And which one did you like better? Which one did you like doing better?
They're fun in different ways, you know. It's like the her home being a little bit older, it had more of like, you know, the character, and then Erin really wanted the subdivision to feel like, you know, Muriel was out of place. So it was very, you know, like stark and like it like tract home type of vibe. And, you know, she
Yeah.
didn't feel comfortable there. So it was, you know, they're just fun in different ways.
Erin, where'd you find that carpet?
That carpet was there. And honestly,
Awesome. That
this
carpet's awesome.
this location was, it was very tricky to find, and we searched a lot of places because, of course, you need to find something that feels like a brand new 1950 track home development. And then, and I say that because we weren't going to have the budget to fully build something. But then in the story, it's really so much of it is the relationship to the other woman's house. And so to find these two
Mm,
things really proved to be quite the journey that I would say it made building a casino seem super easy in comparison, which is insane. But yeah, this one ended up what was, it had the right kind of bones and little things here and there and paint. And then, it was a definite, I remember with Melissa, we were really trying because it was later in the schedule. And so we did have a lot of kind of our journey to get here of kind
mm.
of
That's
how
nice.
that was kind of nice to kind of
Yeah.
play like we've seen this kind of look here and this look here and the different time periods to then okay, this is supposed to be like really of the moment. They ordered everything, probably came right out of Sears, a month
Yeah.
ago. What would that feel like, and what's going to make her feel like, even though it might appear really lovely in the model home, this is not really what she wants, and how to kind of capture that.
The track home and everything and the development and like the construction of it, you got studs in some scenes of them building these houses. Where's this at? Where's this location?
So this whole thing of those combo of this house and her house, this was all out in Alta Vista or what? Like where
Is that,
out
did you build
Agua
that house?
Dulce.
Did you build
Agua
that little green
Agua
house?
Dulce. I was like, why am I not
Aqua Dulce.
remembering?
Oh
Again,
yeah.
sorry, it's been a
There's a
moment.
lot of open land out there. Yeah.
Yes. So this was a property that this house was there, and we painted the exterior and then did some
Oh
painting
wow.
work on the interior as well, and we built that carport out. But
What a
those
gem.
the lovely entry kind of concrete entrance there, that was there. And so that was kind of part of what appealed to me to kind of pitch, okay, this feels like they've started this as the entry to the subdivision. That's our one house. And then how do we kind of create the idea that they're continually building more around the one like model home?
I love your like green and pink combination there, like the period of that. And that door is fantastic. Was that their door?
That was their door. We painted it, but that
Oh,
was their door. Yeah.
damn, that is all. That's very, I don't know, to me that's very East Coast, but that's fantastic. Wow, what a gem. There's a lot out there's some there's some good stuff out there in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
that you can find. Um, did you, Melissa, did you struggle finding all these pieces? I mean, mid-century is not too hard to find in LA, but the collective of it, like, how was
Yeah,
that?
I mean, honestly, the struggle was just budget because we wanted it all to look brand new, like Karen
Mm,
said, like she just ordered it and it wanted to feel cohesive. And I barely had the budget to make the curtains or like reupholster the sofa, but I knew that we had to do that to sort of get the look we were after. So it was just trying to be as smart as possible with like the cheapest fabrics, the everything was rented. It's pretty much all Warner Brothers Uni, a little bit of Omega for the artwork and stuff.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, it was just pulling it all together in the time and budget that we had was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full house. Both
The full
locations,
house.
they're full houses. I
Yeah.
mean, they're in the bedrooms, they're in the dining, they're in the living rooms, this kitchen, that fridge. This fridge is
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's Omega. Yeah.
It is fantastic, like a 1950s, 40s type refrigerator. Well, I guess it's brand new, so it would have to be the 50s, but
Yeah.
fun. And then that hardware, what's up with that hardware, Erin? Did you put that on there? Was that there?
That was there, but we brought in, we
These
we
people
did the
are living
wall.
in a time capsule.
I
You
Yes.
know.
guys are so lucky to find this house. Oh my God.
I know. Well, and it was hilarious because I mean, again, I love Dan, but I brought Dan there the first time in my pitch and he was like, oh, this isn't right. And then it was like, we kept searching and I was like, let's revisit that.
It's
Thankfully, the
so
second time
right.
around, it appealed to him more. But we did the like shingled wall, the, like faux shingle wallpaper. And this
Oh,
little table here we built in because there was this whole scene that needed to take place there. So
oh yeah. And
it was,
Formica and
yeah,
like that cute little chicken lamp, the sconce you got on the wall there,
I
Melissa.
know.
So cute. Um,
Practical.
yeah, the 50, I mean, there was such good design going on and such good style and lines going on. It's like I so wish we still lived like that. I don't know. There is a little scene in like a making up a nursery. Is this wallpaper printed? Did you come up with?
Yeah, so this was actually what was interesting in that space in that house. This room, this nursery kind of was like a room, kind of connected through, and it had great depth because of that you could kind of see through. And at first, when walking through, Dan and Luke, our DP, were kind of, they were talking about really kind of, okay, how we're going to avoid shooting this room. And so I came back and kind of pitched, how about we embrace it? Because trying to avoid this space just seems kind of silly. And if we, and again, it worked, the location worked, but it was going to be tight for a crew when everyone's in there shooting. And so I pitched that again, if it's this model house and kind of the ideas that again, that they're kind of, that the husband really wants to buy into and she's not buying into, why not just immediately like it comes with a nursery, like there is this
Right.
nursery, let's go, you're supposed to obviously get married and have a baby and it's 1950, whatever. And so Dan liked that idea. And this wallpaper was actually a vintage one that we had found and we're having issues getting printed. And so Kate Weddle, our director, actually did a little work on tweaking and fixing it, and then we were able to get it printed because it was an older one we had found but couldn't.
And
She
then
had basically
reprint.
complete the pattern for me.
Right.
We sent it off to get printed.
It's so fantastic because it's the period colors and everything, but it's a tad bit creepy.
Totally.
Like there's like a tad of creepiness to it, of like some weirdo lion or something up there, and like hot air balloons and clowns and it's
Yeah.
like it's so sweet. And then you're looking at it and you're like, what's going on there? What's going on with that
Her
drawing?
face says it all there. She doesn't want
Yeah,
anything to do with this
Yeah.
creepy circus.
she's not having it.
No.
She's not having it. Yeah. I love a period diner. I always have fun doing period diners because you get the lighting, you get like now there's this mural that I wanted to ask with the horses. Did you have that put on?
Yeah, we put that
Yeah.
on because it was kind of again the challenge of connecting all these locations to the various places in the story. And this was supposed to be kind of the idea that this is a diner near the racetrack that she works at, and kind of the kind of regulars at the racetrack go here. So that was kind of a bit of my effort to homage. And then I think a lot of the art Melissa put up had a lot of
The
kind
horse.
of racing stuff related as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diners are big. It's a big dress.
It's a big dress. It's a lot of little things. This was one of my favorites in the end. I think it turned out really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the atmosphere and the lighting is so natural in there. It's a really nice it's a nice scene. She works at the diner, so it's a nice scene for her to look out the window and, see her busy day. And also, I thought one of the funniest, well, a little funny thing in the movie when she goes to pay for those olives, she's like, "I got it, I got the money," and then she's like, "I'll drive." Like, there's such a like, I'm taking care of myself here, which she has a job. It's not like it was completely unheard of in the 50s, but this is the time when we're getting out there, we're getting in the workforce and everything, and
Yeah.
she's really, forefront for that. So I like that. Um, where was this location at?
Um, Disney Ranch, right?
Just,
Our whole little
yeah.
downtown is Disney Ranch as well.
I mean, you guys are
Yeah.
all over the place. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are, I like diners. Oh, you got a jukebox back there. I didn't even see the jukebox.
Yeah, jukebox and
Got it all.
yeah.
Cigarette machine, you got it going on. So there is a huge part of the storyline is in a casino, and so you built this guy, or this is a location.
So this was somewhere again where we kind of pivoted from the book, and and the script did originally have it taking place in the Golden Nugget. And
Oh,
that, initially we started looking at some locations that might feel more emblematic of that, but I kind of just said, well, you guys obviously aren't trying to get it cleared from them. And, we don't need to make it exactly that. So in my research of kind of getting into the Las Vegas at that time, I kind of pivoted and suggested to Dan the idea of more some of these, not that, basically the early days on the strip, and not the ones down on Fremont Street that were a little older and those higher brick buildings like the Golden Nugget were. And so this was kind of, okay, if we lean into looking at a lot of those images of like the sands and the flamingo and all of these, I'm like, okay, so much of this is basically just carpet and drop ceiling.
right.
And that's when, thankfully, with our location manager, there was an AMC theater that was part of Promenade Mall that was completely abandoned. And so
Oh, wow.
went there and kind of pitched Dan on my vision of, here's this wonky, great, already kind of wavy drop ceiling. And so I'm sure it's like early 90s or mid 90s bad bed carpet, but I believe this could
Oh,
play as our 50s carpet and kind of,
bad carpet transcends
yeah.
decades.
Yes. So it was like, if we look this way and this way and this way, and we'll turn the concession stand into the bar. That was, he was on board.
Nice. That's a great transformation there. So this is like a lobby? God, wait, I have that
Yeah, so that was all a lobby.
this bar.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that was like a build out of the concession stand to make it bar height and all of that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love those tassels. It's a great little
Yeah,
detail there.
love the tassels.
So how long was this from, hey, we're stepping into shooting? Because this is a big overhaul too. I mean,
I
casinos
mean,
are
this was
enormous.
another nightmare.
It was yeah,
So hard.
Because
it
I'm
was.
I'm sorry. So you put in the drop ceiling?
No, the drop ceiling was there.
Oh,
We
the
just
drop
like
ceiling was there. Okay.
you kind of
So
see the line of purple there, like we painted the purple. Yeah, no. So
I
it
see.
was the ceiling and the carpet, and then every like we made plugs around the movie light boxes so that we could put our so that they felt less like, well, they felt more period appropriate and could be something that like had events for the 50s stuff. But the hanging practicals Melissa brought in, but like the curve of what you just said, like the tassels, that thing above the bar, that was like a physical curve thing, and then we made the pieces and painted it.
I love
Um,
those. I love those lights, Melissa. Are they Lenny?
Yeah, those are from Lenny. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Lenny
those.
was a huge help, obviously, for this and RC vintage.
Oh yeah, with all your games and
Yeah, and it's like it was one of those things where I try to be as accurate as possible, and Erin and I did all the research, and we're like looking at what's available, and the tables and chairs technically were more 60s, but we just liked them better. And finally,
yeah,
Erin was like, "That's a great stool. Just go with that one. It's okay," because
yeah.
it was just impossible to, for our budget, I couldn't make all these stools, and it's just
And quantity. I mean,
and
quantity is
quantity, it was
quantity.
expensive.
so hard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so it all came together, but this was a very challenging one just for all the reasons, the budget, the time, the quantity.
Yeah, casinos are not cheap to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, not
I will tell you this. I learned a cheat because I just did a casino this past year, and I was talking to Peter Gursky on Mid-Century Modern, and I'm looking at a casino set that he did, and I was like, these tables are fantastic. Where are they? He's like, oh, they're the RC Vintage ones. And I was like, well, I just rented them. That doesn't look. He's like, well, what I did was I skirted them all because
Oh,
none of the legs match. You know what I
that's
mean?
really smart.
So now I'm like, well, I'm telling everybody.
Yeah,
That's an easy fix instead of waking up at 3 a.m. being like, my tables don't match.
yeah,
Like, not
That
that
is
you
so
ever
smart.
see the base. We're the only ones that worry about this shit. But like, yeah. So I was
yeah,
like, that is a great fix, and I'm telling everyone.
yeah. That's super smart. That didn't cross
Yeah.
my mind.
No, but no, I didn't either. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, everything, the chips, the ropes. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on in a casino. So it's a big dress. And you had slot machines, right?
yeah. The
Yeah, on
slot
the sides.
machines
Yeah.
were, and I mean, it was just so hard. I
Um,
feel terrible that I didn't look this up before. I cannot remember the place, but we found them through RC Vintage. It's like a slot machine collector guy.
yes,
It's
they're
like,
in Redondo Beach.
yes, yes,
Weirdly enough,
yes.
yes, I've
You know
passed a
exactly who
million.
I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yes, they're great. They're great guys. Yeah, I
yeah,
forget the name too, but I just dealt with them. Yeah,
yeah. We couldn't have done it without them. I mean, every single one came from them, and they had ones that actually worked because we needed a few to
yeah.
be practical, and they
And then
all
you got to
worked.
hire the guy to work them.
Yeah, yeah,
That's their jam. He's an expensive dude. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Watching that payout scene is expensive. So then the guy is up top and he's looking for cheaters and everything in like the rafters of these above the drop ceiling. Now, where's this at? Is this a bill? What's going on here? Because this was intricate. There's a lot going
Yeah.
on in these scenes.
This was also why I kind of pitched the pivot to the drop ceiling and all of that, because that was obviously such a huge story point. And if we were at the Golden Nugget and it was like, how are we going to cheat? Anyway, so this was a build out at RSI, which RSI kind of proved to be a bit of like almost like a studio backlot to us. We did a bunch of different sets there. And this was in a space where essentially they already had stairs up to this kind of raised platform, and then we essentially just kept filling up this platform and with different, like, we built out these little like look over points and popped up these panels of metal that they had so that they could put the blue screen in there and kind of cheat, to connect these later. But yeah, that was at RSI in
It's
a
like the
whole
per then I was like, are they in the perm somewhere? Shouldn't
I
this?
know. I know.
Um, I love watching anything old time casinos. My dad was a floor person. He never was up top, but he would watch everyone and everything. So I know all about it. So
That's so cool.
it's
Cool.
fascinating how people would sit there and watch other people all day and see if they were cheating, and it was a job. So
Yeah.
now they watch cameras, so it's still a job. Um, I love this racetrack. I take people here. It's so gorgeous, and I love it. And I'm so glad whenever I see it because I think it should be seen more. It's just a beautiful. It's the Santa Anita racetrack, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's great. And you have so many scenes in there, the interior and the exterior. But I really liked how you made it like a little cafe, the champagne court.
Yeah, this was an interesting. We looked again, as you said, it's such a beautiful facility, and we looked at all the kind of, everywhere there, and at a lot of different of their kind of like existing places that someone might have like a drink or whatever. And in the end, again, I think, as they kind of talked about how they were going to shoot and I think kind of edit, and obviously, again, just the scale of what we knew we were going to have extras wise and like the racing and whatnot, this option of kind of going down actually on the kind of in the center area. I can't necessarily remember the exact name of what it's called down there, but
Mm,
basically not up above looking down on the track, but the center area. And this kind of gave us a great way to create our champagne court that
yeah.
Melissa beautifully did. Yeah.
Was there anything within any of the sets that you had to camera test because of period type fabrics or anything that like, oh, we really like this, but it might moray, or was anything come up like that? I always think of that with period of like, oh, that color doesn't really read now, or
I
did you
don't
have any?
I feel like there was a camera test, but I'm
Oh,
blanking if we had
Yeah.
anything prepared at that point.
I know.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem.
I
Yeah.
do. What's funny is I do definitely remember because the subdivision art exterior, that house was later in the schedule. I definitely think I did a camera test by bringing some paint samples by when they were shooting,
Yeah.
just to make sure, because that green and pink were such a specific, like, you look at it and it was freaking people out. And I really just wanted to make sure with Luke that it was gonna, work out the way that hopefully we wanted. It's kind of a drive-by camera shoot test.
Yeah, camera test. Well, I've done that too. I've been like,
Yeah.
"Are you done rehearsing? I need to look at these light sheets." Like,
Yeah.
like, especially on a Ryan Murphy thing, because they freak out about that shit. Yeah, yeah. And then you have this motel room that's in the movie a lot. It's a lot of dark
Yeah.
scenes. I'm glad you included this lighter one because, again, the period of it and the simplicity of it just reads beautifully. Really. I mean, from the sconce to the headboard to the pale, the like tone on tone colors you guys did in here, it really breaks away kind of from the other sets. Was that your thoughts of making it different?
It was definitely supposed to be more like, not, I guess, I don't know if poppy's the right word, but sort of the like more retro, sort of atomic like look
Mm,
of the
atomic, yeah.
50s. Yeah. And this was the Squaw Motel, right, Erin?
Yes.
Yes, Squaw
Yes.
Motel. It's been so long. I remember I had found like these sort of cowboy like curtains at Omega that I just like became obsessed with and like
I
had
know the,
to use
yes,
those. I
yes.
was like so bummed when they didn't fit in the space that I was like upset about all of this for like a day or two. And then in the end, it was so much better, like what we pulled together based on Erin's wall color and everything. Just like you said, like the monochromatic colors. And I got to use those amazing salmon chairs from RC Vintage that
Mm.
I've loved since I became, a PA basically and never been able to use. So yeah, there were some fun moments in here for sure. I really liked this one.
I loved the bedding you found. The bed
Yeah,
when
the
she showed me
bedding
that
is
bedding, I was
beautiful.
like, this is big. Knowing, of course, I knew like, oh, they're going to be in here a lot. The beds are important. We see the bedding. We're
Yeah.
rolling around, and I was like, this is perfect. I loved it.
I do love because we walk around these prop houses time and time and time again, and some things catches your eye and you're like, damn, I'm just not on that project. And then,
Right.
when it comes up, you're like, is that out? Like, who has that?
Yeah. I
Where is
have to
it?
use the salmon chairs. I have to.
Where is it? Who has it? Bitch, give it to me. Um, and this whole little town that you guys
Yeah.
had to do with these bright
Tijuana.
colors.
Yeah.
Where? Where is it?
This is supposed to be Tijuana. This is
Well, yeah, I know. Well,
this
that
is
I
at
get, but where
RSI.
is it?
It's at RSI, our back lot that
Oh, wow,
this was
yeah.
like a strip of like what essentially to me felt like garages, storage units that they had. And yeah, I had a plan, painting signage plan, and Melissa brought in all these awnings and it was and then some very strategic camera work and placed picture vehicles.
Awnings are expensive.
Yeah. So brought in awnings is a very generous statement. I
Yeah.
literally had my crew like nailing boards of wood to the side and draping fabric over.
Yeah.
As you like the one that we're looking at with the green and white stripes, that was an existing one I could rent. I think it was from Lenny or I don't remember. So I had like one or two that, existed and fit sort of. And then the rest of them were just fabric that we rigged like on the day, or our dress day.
Oh,
Yeah, it was challenging.
it's a lot. Erin, how was signage and clearances with period pieces or period signs throughout? I mean, you have the casino, you had to make signage, you have the
It
street,
was,
you have the
yeah, we had
diner.
a,
I mean,
it was very heavy graphics,
yeah.
and we had a few excellent graphic designers, and I mean, thankfully, I mean, that was kind of part of it too. We weren't not necessarily clearance wise. That's why when pivoting from the Golden Nugget, it was like, okay, we need to come up with our own casino name, and Dan and Peter, the producer, had a lot of fun kind of getting into what that would be, and the name was the El Carew. And with the squaw, as Dan and I were actually kind of laughing about it the other day about all of our we kept discussing how we wanted our cultural appropriation was going to be period correct for that time, and the things that would be going on, and in the way that a lot of those hotels would like mix like this is like a name from Africa, and yet here's a
Right.
thing that looks like it's from Mexico, and just like the way that they kind of combined all these cultures, that's like very like offensive, and we know now, and not what you should do, but very accurate to that period. And yeah, and so then this was again for our graphic designers and my scenics.
I've
Thankfully,
seen
I had
it.
a great team of people, um, Juan Hernandez and his team. He had a lot of more kind of like junior scenics, but at the end, very kindly, he was like, this was like a crash course for them because they got
Mm,
to do everything. It was like obviously wallpaper, lots of places, aging
yeah.
places. Now we're hand painting, it was the signs, it was a lot. Yeah.
It really is a lot for paint on this. No, I'm thinking about it because you have to have the right colors in every set. I mean, everything has to be painted correctly and appropriate. So yeah, you really
It was,
rely
it
a
was
lot
a,
on painters on this.
yes. Yeah.
Erin is like a color genius. I'm just gonna say that. She like blew me away every time. I even like a few times I was like, oh, those are bold. Okay. And then when I went to dress, I was like, oh my God, like she nailed it.
Mm, that's a talent.
Yeah.
I
That's a talent. Camera testing it or not, that's a talent. Um, I'm gonna make a prediction here, having worked with Erin. Did you do this board, Erin?
This board was such a thing. Our onset
Yep.
Giovanni did this board
I
and
feel like Erin was dreaming about this
I contributed many pieces to it, but
and
I had to
contributed
walk
many people
away.
like maybe like the rabbit's foot or like I feel like Erin came in and jazzed it
I
up.
absolutely did bring in a box of here's a bunch of extra crap I've been holding on to that, of course,
Yeah.
but in terms of where it was all going to
Since
go,
Moxie.
yeah, this turned into a real thing.
yes, this was like the heart of the whole movie. And, everybody was sort of involved in making sure it looked good. And there, like, there's pieces from all of us, like there's a picture of my coordinator, Marissa
Yeah.
Perez's grandparents on there. There's some
Yeah.
photos of mine. Like, I think we all just like contributed pieces. My team hand wrote all of these things. And in the end, our onset, he's just had this vision. And I literally had no part in putting it together. We just kind of let him do it, and
Mm.
I think he did an incredible, incredible job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks very like people really just give me some space. Let me put up my loved
Yeah,
one. I should say for people who are not looking at this, there's a board at the end of it's in a hotel, right? Was that what it was?
yeah,
It's in a hotel.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like our people are missing. First, you think it's kind of like a murder board. I was like, what's going on? And it's like the people have just like they're obsessive gamblers or they've made pit stops in this place and they want their loved ones to come home. So they're posting pictures and notes, Raymond, please come home. If you get this, here's where we are. We still love you. Those type of things. Is that, or am I not getting it? Right? That's what it is, right?
I think it's also it's a bit like what do they call it? Misconnections that used to like people used to say,
Um,
hey, so, some whether or not someone saw someone at the bar they wanted to meet, or
like the
they
personal ads.
almost, yeah, some's a personal ad,
Oh,
some's like,
yeah.
hey, I'm
Oh,
looking, because the idea was again that this is obviously in the 50s, and this is a known gay and lesbian bar, but undercover because what they're doing is technically illegal at that time. And so this is
oh,
like
right.
kind of this idea of people leaving, like this was a safe place for them to maybe leave a note for someone that they met here in passing or saw or were looking for, but I do think also, yes, family probably looking for someone, that maybe, if someone ran away or someone, whatever, they're trying to find.
Right.
Um, and this
I
might be a
was
place.
I not that I missed that, but I didn't think about it in depth like that. But yeah, yeah, I guess that's more of what it is than how I described it. But again, it's very beautifully layered and looks and aged and old photographs and handwritten notes and matchbooks and little details here and there. So it's a lot of work to make it look not crisp,
Yeah.
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 and new.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that that's a lot of work to do. Um, what was your favorite detail? Did you have a favorite detail that you got to do with this period film for each of you from
Mm.
Melissa? No.
I think the casino, honestly, I mean, as
Hmm.
hard as it was, that one, it's how like Kim, you can relate. Like as we keep doing these shows, like the sets start stacking up and it sort of not feels monotonous, but it's just like you have to go, 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 go. And
Yeah.
it's hard to just like take a minute and like sit back and enjoy like what you've done. And the casino was one where we worked so hard. There was like a sense of like celebration when that was over, where I think Erin and I both were like, oh my God, like look at what we pulled off. This is
Yeah.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
that was just an exciting moment to like see that we actually, Erin turned like an AMC movie theater into a casino. And fun fact, it's a movie theater that I used to go to as a high school person.
Oh my gosh, so the memories. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I think I saw Titanic there. I don't know.
Yes.
Wow. The memory lane.
So it was just wild, like being in there and like seeing it all like, decrepit and falling apart. And then to see the transformation that Erin and I did together, that one was special for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, casinos are good. And it's a big set. Anytime you do a casino, it's a big set because of the tables and chairs and all that jazz.
Yeah. And there's rooms that we did that you don't even see.
Yeah.
This place was massive.
Mm, I hate that.
Yeah. Same.
Erin, do you have a favorite detail?
Um, I would say honestly, one that probably just because again, in the love of like kind of scenic and aging, the boarding house that they stay in when they go to San Diego, that
Oh yeah, I don't have that.
is that was again at RSI, and it was somewhere where we found a hallway that we liked, and there was like one wall, and then everything else we kind of built around that and brought in the walls and built. And because that again needed to feel like a space that was, had been there for a long time and layered and kind of working with the scenics on that, but also this thing that was, I think also because just in their story and the color and kind of textures that were there, there was still, I think obviously they have a love and respect for each other and just kind of this coziness and kind of creating here's
Mm.
this Murphy bed coming down in their small little kitchen. That was just a space that I think I don't know, I had a fondness for creating that on the smaller scale of things we were creating. And then yes, obviously the casino was like, I can't believe we pulled this off.
Well, I have not done full period. Like I've never done full period. I've done like bits and pieces, sets here and there. So I'm always fascinated of like, God, how was it? Like, was it hard to get everything? Like, how much fun was it? Or was it a nightmare? So I love period pieces and just seeing how much, because I know it's a lot of work. So I think you guys did a fantastic job and getting to do all the different types of period in that one film is fantastic. So great job.
Thank
Really
you.
enjoyed it. Yeah. Um, and it's on Netflix. Now it's out
Yep.
now. Everybody can see it's
Yes.
out and about.
Everyone
Yeah.
can watch it on Netflix.
I had it on last week. I had it on last night. We're looking at it and yeah. So yeah, check it out. Um, Melissa is on season 4 of Monster because she loves blood. And Erin is on a pilot in New York City with the same director. So, you busy, busy girls. Busy girls. It's
We're
good.
very lucky to be
I'm
busy.
happy for you.
Happy to be doing something.
And as I said before, I will not be reviewing season 3 of Monster. I don't want to see the blood. Sorry,
It,
Melissa.
no,
Looks
it's
great,
okay.
but I'm
It's
not doing it.
Season 4 is a little less creepy, and it's Lizzie Borden, so it takes place in 1890, which has been a blast for me so far.
Yeah, see another period. That's awesome, man.
Kim, I've never done contemporary, so
Oh
I've done one
yeah,
contemporary show. Yeah.
you bitch.
I
Dying to do something out of my contemporary zone. No, that's all. Well, there you go. And then you're gonna get typecast as being the period
I'm
decorator.
here for it. I'll do it for the rest of my career. I'm totally
Erin,
fine.
Erin, is yours contemporary or period or
It's
what?
funny you say that. I keep laughing because it's based on a book that takes place in 2008. So the period
Oh,
fun right now is we're really talking a lot about blackberries. I'll tell you that.
oh my God, that's funny. Oh my
So
God.
yeah,
A
it's
lifetime ago. Blackberries were
yeah,
a lifetime ago.
exactly. So
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm so glad to see you, and it's always a joy to talk to you guys and this really great looking film. So thank you.
Thank you
thank
so much,
you.
Kim.
Yes.